Hey there, it's Rachel Mullins, the host of Hashtag No Filter Fridays on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Elizabeth,
co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for joining the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast. I am your host, Jenna Burt. I'm a military spouse of almost 10 years, a health and fitness enthusiast, and a mom to the most amazing little girl who knows how to push every single one of my buttons. Which brings us to today's topic of mom guilt. So I want to talk about this because it's something that is very near and dear to my heart, and because I know that we all have mom guilt. And if you say you don't have mom guilt, you're probably lying. And I mean that in the best way possible. But if you don't have or have not had mom guilt, congratulations. You're probably like that 0.1% of the population who has not had it. So with that being said, what is mom guilt? Well, it's feeling bad about your kid being in daycare because you work, or your kid having to go to before and after care at school because you work and your spouse works, or feeling bad for going out for a night, getting a sitter. You know, it's feeling bad for a lot of things. The list goes on and on and on, but really what it boils down to is feeling guilty for being a normal human being. And I truly feel like everyone has mom guilt, but why? Like, why do we have this mom guilt? Well, I feel like because society and different generations have programmed us to feel this way. I know my parents had very defined roles. My dad worked, my mom stayed at home and took care of us, and then when we got to the age that we were in school, she found a job that was very compliant with our school life. So she went to work after we were in school, and she was off whenever we got off of school. So, and then because my dad was working all the time, she did everything around the house. You know, she cooked, she cleaned, she shuffled us to and from practices. She pretty much did it all. And she has told me before, you know, there was never really any quote unquote self-care time for her. You know, she never really called a babysitter. She never really went out unless it was with us. My dad was a truck driver, so them spending time together wasn't really a possibility either. And, you know, when my dad was home, he wanted to spend it with us. So, you know, she didn't have much time to take care of herself because she was always doing something for somebody else. And then I feel like there are ideas of what is quote unquote socially acceptable that's put into our head, such as, well, you're a mom, you should cook, you should clean, you should take care of the kids, your husband should provide, or your spouse should provide. I feel like those ideas are put into our head, and sometimes we allow those ideas to drive our feelings and actions, which will easily cause us to feel this guilt. But where the problem comes in is that we don't put our feelings first. And when we don't put our feelings first, not only with parenting, but with anything in life, what starts to happen? You start to get angry. You start to get sad. You start to have this resentment. You know, all of these feelings come into effect when you're not putting yourself first and you're living your life for everybody else. But to be honest, I feel like the mom guilt as a military spouse is even worse than regular mom guilt. And you guys, regular mom guilt is bad enough on its own. So why do I feel like it's much worse as a military spouse? Well, because we already have this regular mom guilt that I just talked about, but it seems amplified as a military spouse because we're also dealing with the military members' schedule, whether it's crazy hours, they're deployed, they're gone for trainings, and then they're home. Whatever the situation is, we're dealing with that on top of being a parent and dealing with already having that mom guilt. So not only do we feel the regular mom guilt, but then if your spouse is gone, you have that guilt too. And I know in my mind, it goes a little something like this. Let me just give you one scenario. It's Friday night. I've worked all week. My daughter has been in before and after care at school because I work from 8 to 5. My spouse is gone, whether it's for training, deployment, duty, whatever. And my friends want to go out for a drink. Man, doesn't that sound amazing? So then my next thought process is this. I'd really love to go. It's been a really long week. I could really use a drink, and the adult socialization, even though I socialize with adults all day at work, it's totally different. But I've worked all week. My daughter was in before and after care at school. The laundry needs to be done. The dishes need to be done. She probably really wants a better home cooked meal. Yada, yada, yada. It goes on and on and on. And then what happens? I feel so guilty about doing something for myself that I end up not going. But what happens when I end up not going? I end up angry and agitated and upset and sad. I have serious FOMO and I end up resentful, and then I take it out on my daughter. And that's not fair to her, obviously. So instead of having that guilt, I should have just gone. And why should I have just gone? 2 words: self-care. And I cannot stress those words enough. Self-care is so important, you guys. So important. And here's why. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, who's taking care of you? We all know that as a mom, you pretty much do it all. You take care of everybody. Everybody is first on your list, and then comes you. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Just make sure that when you come, you actually take care of yourself and you don't put it off. Because, like I said, if you're not taking care of yourself, chances are nobody else is going to be taking care of you. And I hear all the time, because I'm a full-time working spouse, you guys. I don't know if you know that or not, but I work in a periodontist office, which is a specialty dental office. It's very high-end, it's very demanding, and I love my job. But I work full-time, and a lot of people ask me why. Well, first and foremost, I like to work. I like to feel independent. I've worked since I was young, and I like to work. I like to give back to the community in the way that I do. And I know that for my family and for my daughter, it's best if I work and I'm not a stay-at-home mom. And you guys, I can say that because I know it is 100% true. But then I get these comments. I can't believe that you work full-time. I can't believe that you wouldn't want to stay at home with your kid. I can't believe that your kid goes to the before and after program at school and is there pretty much all day long. How do you go out on the weekends when you work full-time? I can't believe your kid is with a sitter while you go do X, Y, and Z when your spouse is gone. You guys, the list of those I can't believes goes on and on and on. So why do I do these things? Why do I work? Why do I get a sitter for my kid when I need one? Why does she go to before and after care? So I can be a good mom when I get home. You guys, the mom burnout is so real, and my patience is already super thin. If I was a stay-at-home parent, it would just be a disaster, a straight disaster. And that's not good for me, that's not good for my husband, and it's not good for my kid. And if I'm not doing these things and I'm not having this self-care, I can't be a good parent. And it's not that I don't want to be with my daughter, because obviously I love her dearly, but I've also learned that I'm just as important as she is, and I need to take care of myself, and especially when my spouse is gone. You know, I go out with my friends on a Friday night, even though my kids, been in before and after care at school and I've been working, because I need that time for myself. I need to unwind. I need to laugh. I need that human interaction, because the monotony of everyday today life gets so overwhelming that I need that break. I just need something to break it up. And if I allow myself to do that, then I know I can come back and I can be a good parent. But if I don't do that because of what society has put in my head as socially correct, then I will end up with so much anger and resentment and all of those emotions, and it will come out on my daughter, and she doesn't deserve that. She deserves a good mom, and I need to be that, especially when my spouse is gone. But I also have to make sure that I do the things that I need to do so I can be that parent. So you guys, I am here to tell you, stop with all of the bullshit lies you tell yourself of what you have to do to be a good mom. You don't have to do anything that society says that you need to do just to prove that you're a good mom. You have to do what works for your family. I mean, is your kid fed? Are they happy? Do they have clothes on their back? Do they have a roof over their head? Great. Then you are already doing what you need to do to be a good mom. And moms, for the love of God, stop judging other moms. Just stop. That's part of the problem too. So many moms are so quick to judge other moms, but unless you can sit there and say that you are a perfect mom, which nobody in the world is, you have no right to sit there and judge somebody else. Who cares if that mom at the park is on Instagram scrolling away, as long as her kid is safe and happy? If her kid is playing on the slide with another kid and they are safe and she can see them and they are happy, let her scroll. You have no idea what she's been through in the week. You have no idea what she's going through in life. Maybe she needs that 5 minutes of scrolling on Instagram and Facebook to reset herself so she can come back and be a good mom. Because what if she doesn't do that because society doesn't think it's socially acceptable? And then she goes home and she takes it out on her kid. That's not fair. So stop judging other moms. There is not a single parent in this world that is better than another. And we as parents need to stop acting like it. We need to stop acting like we're better than the next parent, because we're not. First of all, everybody has different parenting styles. Some parents are super laid back, some parents are super strict, some parents are a combination of the two. Second of all, like I just said, you have no idea what's going on in that person's life, so why judge them? You're no better than they are. Could you imagine what the world and motherhood would look like if we took all of that judgment that everybody does, and instead of judging each other, we used it to help moms? So instead of sitting there at the park judging the mom because she's scrolling on Instagram or scrolling on Facebook, or maybe she's even working her side business. Oh yeah, that we're going to talk about that too later on. Maybe she's working her side business. Instead of sitting there judging her, help her. Maybe go up to her and just say, hey, maybe she needs that human interaction. Like I said, you have no idea what's going on. Go up to her and say hi. Or if her kid needs her shoe tied at the park, tie her kid's shoe so she doesn't have to get up for the 15th time to tie her kid's shoe. Little things like that go a long way, you guys. And like I said, is your kid alive? Yes. Is your kid fed? Yes. Is your kid happy? Yep. Do they have clothes on their back? Yes. Do they have a roof over their head? You bet. Are they loved? Yes. Then I'm here to tell you, if those things are true, then you are already doing a damn good job. Your kid or kids love you beyond belief, and they don't want you to strive to be a perfect mom. They don't need you to strive to be a perfect mom. They need you to be there for them. They need you to love them. They need you to feed them. They need you to care for them. They want you to be proud of them. And if you are doing those things, then you are already perfect just the way you are. And you just need to keep doing what works for you. So I'm here to tell you, forget all the BS that is put out there in society. Forget what anybody else has said to you about parenting or your parenting or whatever the situation is, and just do you. You're good enough the way you are. Your kids love you just the way you are. You don't need to be that perfect Pinterest mom to be a good mom. And the other parents in the world need to stop telling you that that's what you need to do to be the perfect mom. You guys, I am not a good student mom. And what I mean by that is that I am not that parent that will be volunteering in the classroom all the time. I am not that parent that will, stay up till midnight to make super fun snacks for each holiday. But I am that parent that will donate money whenever I can. But just because I don't do those other things doesn't mean I'm a bad mom. And I'm here to tell you the same. Whatever you're doing right now, as long as your kid is happy and as long as your kid is loved, you are perfect. And you don't need to change a single thing about you. So you guys, I want you to take all of this information and I really want you to let it soak in. The next time you think about judging a parent, stop. And think about, how could I help that parent instead of judging them? And when you need that break, or you need a mommy timeout, or you want to go out with your friends, or you want to hire a sitter just to go sit at Starbucks for 2 hours, do it. Remember, just because you're a mom doesn't mean you're not important. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself, guys. I hope that you guys really took some great information from this. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you guys on the next episode.